Hi everyone, I'm registered dietitian nutritionist Whitney English. Welcome back to my channel, Whitney ERD. Today we're talking cooking oils. I'm frequently asked which cooking oil is best, which has the most benefits, and if oil is even healthy in the first place.
This is good for weight loss, right?
There are so many different types of oil out there and a lot of hyped up information or hyperbolic warnings. So today I want to cut through the fat and give you the facts on 5 of the most common oils: olive, canola, coconut, grapeseed, and avocado. I'll review the production, smoke point, best uses, and the health effects of each oil so you can make an informed decision about which is best for you and your family. Let's start with olive oil. Olive oil was traditionally made by crushing olives into a paste, then pressing the paste to extract the liquid fat. Olive oil has a smoke point between 350 and 410 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on its quality. The term smoke point refers to the temperature at which an oil will start to burn, causing it to break down and release harmful compounds. Every oil has a different smoke point, which is the reason that some are better for cooking than others. The smoke point is often listed on a product's label. Because of its relatively high smoke point, olive oil is great for cooking, roasting, and sautéing, but it also makes a delicious option in a salad dressing. Additionally, studies have shown that olive oil is highly stable and isn't likely to oxidize due to its fatty acid profile and natural antioxidant content, which makes it even suitable for frying. The difference between the types of olive oil on the shelves today lies within the processing method. Virgin and extra virgin olive oils are made using a chemical-free process where olives are crushed and then centrifuged to extract the oil. That means the mixture is spun around extremely fast so that the oil separates from the rest of the olive components. Extra virgin is a designation based on chemical and sensory standards developed by trained testers. These oils are typically darker forest green, and they have a grassy, peppery, and fruity aroma and flavor. Cold pressed is basically a marketing ploy, as modern producers now use centrifugation versus pressing to produce olive oil, and extra virgin and virgin olive oil is made without heat. Regular or refined olive oil is made using chemical solvents to extract the oil. It often has vitamin E added back in to replace the natural antioxidants that are lost during the processing. Health-wise, olive oil is one of the healthiest vegetable oils available, with a large body of research supporting its benefits. It's the primary fat source in the Mediterranean diet, a dietary pattern widely lauded for its association with disease prevention. One very large randomized controlled trial of individuals at a high risk of cardiovascular disease showed that those who followed a Mediterranean diet supplemented with about 4 tablespoons of polyphenol-rich olive oil per day had approximately a 30% reduced risk of heart attack, stroke, or dying of cardiovascular disease compared to a control group on a similar but low-fat diet. Clearly, when choosing an olive oil, it's best to go with an extra virgin or a virgin, as they are the least processed and have the most health benefits thanks to their increased content of antioxidants and polyphenols. Next up, canola oil. Canola oil is a highly controversial vegetable oil, praised by some for its unique fatty acid profile and demonized by others for the fact that it is typically ultra-processed. Canola oil is actually derived from the rapeseed plant, which is why some countries call it rapeseed oil. The smoke point of canola oil is relatively high, between 400 and 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Though studies have found it is quicker to oxidize and produce polar compounds upon heating than other oils like olive and coconut, which makes it a better choice for baking or for dressings. The major source of controversy about canola is the way it's produced and processed. Most canola oil is extracted using a solvent like hexane. It's then refined, bleached, and deodorized to produce a neutral tasting and light-colored oil. Though studies have shown that hexane residues fall far below safety limits, this often still concerns shoppers. Additionally, the majority of rapeseed plants are made with genetically modified crops, which are bred to resist herbicides. Some studies show that this results in more pesticides used on the crops and a greater potential exposure to pesticide residues. However, like olive oil, high-quality canola oil can be found. Cold or expeller-pressed canola oil is made using a machine to press out the oil, and non-GMO or organic canola oil is also available. Quality canola oil may be beneficial for its health, as it's low in saturated fat and an excellent source of the omega-3 fatty acid ALA. Omega-3 fatty acids are important for brain health, and there is evidence that dietary ALA intake is associated with a lower risk of coronary heart disease. It's especially important for plant-based dieters to consume good sources of ALA because animal sources of omega-3 fatty acids like fish are limited. Next, we have coconut oil, which is also the subject of a lot of controversy. Refined coconut oil is oil extracted from dried coconut meat, while virgin coconut oil is made from fresh coconut meat, which is then pressed to obtain the oil. The smoke point of coconut oil depends on the variety. Virgin coconut oil can be heated up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, while refined coconut oil can be heated up to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. From a stability perspective, coconut oil is a good choice for both cooking and baking, but from a nutrition perspective, the value of coconut oil is debatable. Coconut oil is very high in saturated fat, providing between 11 and 13 grams per tablespoon. The American Heart Association recommends limiting saturated fat to about 13 grams per day. And we're done. The AHA asserts that dietary saturated fat raises LDL cholesterol, which is a major contributor to atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disease. A systematic review of 7 clinical trials found that coconut oil raised LDL cholesterol significantly, similar to butter, beef fat, and palm oil. Supporters of coconut oil, however, mainly the keto crowd, claim that it's beneficial because it contains medium-chain triglycerides. These fatty acids have a shorter chemical structure than other fats and are absorbed more quickly by the body and immediately used for energy, which makes them less likely to be stored as body fat. While this is true, studies show that the main MCT in coconut oil is lauric acid, which behaves differently than most MCTs. Lauric acid, unlike capric and caprylic acid, is digested slowly, more like a long-chain acid. So it's hard to say whether the purported benefits of MCTs actually extend to coconut oil. My conclusion, consume coconut oil in moderation. Having a little bit here and there is not going to hurt you, especially if you're limiting other sources of saturated fat in your diet like butter and lard. I like using coconut oil on the weekends for cooking sweeter foods like waffles and pancakes, but it's not my everyday choice in the kitchen. For an in-depth look at coconut oil, be sure to check out my YouTube video specifically on the topic. I'll leave a link below. Next on our list, grapeseed oil. As its name implies, grapeseed oil is made from oil pressed from the seeds of grapes. It has a high smoke point of approximately 420 to 485 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes it a great oil for all types of cooking. Like other oils, grapeseed oil can be refined and extracted using solvents like hexane, or unrefined using cold or expeller press processing. As discussed previously, residual hexane is low in commercial oils, but it's understandable if you want to avoid solvent-extracted oils and opt for a pressed option. In terms of nutritional value, grapeseed oil is a good source of vitamin E, a fat-soluble vitamin with antioxidant properties. Additionally, grapeseed oil is low in saturated fat and very high in polyunsaturated fat, specifically omega-6 fatty acids. The American Heart Association studies show that polyunsaturated fats are beneficial for heart health, even more so than monounsaturated fat, particularly when they replace saturated fat in the diet. However, it's also important to note that some studies show maintaining a low omega-6 to omega-3 dietary ratio reduces inflammation and chronic disease risk. But most people aren't taking in the majority of their omega-6 fats from consuming cold-pressed grapeseed oil. They're getting it from highly processed junk foods that have tons of added refined oil. The takeaway here is not to eliminate high omega-6 foods, but to focus on eating more minimally processed sources of fat and increasing your intake of omega-3 fatty acids to counterbalance the high amount of omega-6 rich foods in a standard Western diet. Okay, lastly, let's talk about avocado oil. Avocado oil has been growing in popularity in recent years, which makes sense considering avocados are a very trendy food. You'd be hard-pressed to find a brunch spot here in LA without a fermented veggie avo toast on the menu. Most people are aware of the fact that avocados are a nutrient-dense food, high in potassium, fiber, and healthy fats. But what about avocado oil? Avocado oil is extracted from avocado flesh similarly to other vegetable oils via cold pressing or chemical solvents like hexane. Avocado oil has the highest smoke point of any of the previously mentioned oils and can be heated up to 520 degrees Fahrenheit. Its high smoke point, paired with its stability that's similar to olive oil, makes it an ideal oil to use for all cooking methods, but especially for frying. You can also use avocado oil in baking or mixed up with some seasonings to create an amazing marinade or salad dressing. As avocado oil is relatively new on the market, there haven't been a ton of studies on its specific health benefits. But avocado oil does have some known qualities which make it a heart-healthy choice. Avocado oil is low in saturated fat and high in monounsaturated fat. As we discussed previously, the American Heart Association recommends replacing saturated fat with unsaturated fat to decrease LDL cholesterol and reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. And those are the main considerations when it comes to choosing cooking oil. Before we wrap up though, I want to discuss a couple more issues in regards to vegetable oil. First, I'd like to address the claim made by some members of the Whole Foods plant-based community that oils are unhealthy. While there are a few very small studies that have shown reduced endothelial cell functioning immediately after consuming oil, these studies conflict with the massive body of evidence we have linking oil consumption with reductions in cardiovascular disease risk. The transient changes in triglycerides and endothelial function, meaning they only last a short period of time, don't appear to be harmful in the long run, considering that numerous randomized controlled trials have shown oil to be beneficial. Fat is an extremely important part of the diet for hormone production, heart health, and brain functioning, especially for certain populations like pregnant and lactating women and children. And while I definitely recommend getting fat from whole food sources as much as possible, oil can be a healthy part of the diet in moderation. The next thing I want to mention is to be mindful of an oil's harvest date. This is listed on the label of high-quality oils and provides insight into the freshness of the product. Extra virgin olive oil is best when consumed within 18 months of harvesting. Many critics of vegetable oil, paleo dieters, claim that the risk of oxidation negates oil's potential health benefits. But as I've already pointed out, oils like olive, coconut, and avocado are actually quite stable. To prevent unnecessary oxidation, make sure to treat your oils right. They're best stored in a dark glass container in a dark, cool spot. Don't leave them sitting out next to the stove or next to a window to be exposed to light and heat. Finally, oil is a calorically dense food. So if you're trying to lose weight, make sure to consume it in moderation. But also be mindful that fat helps to provide satiety. So including some oil with your meal can actually help you feel fuller and more satisfied. And that's the word. What kind of oil do you use in your kitchen? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more evidence-based nutrition information and healthy original recipes. And if you're looking to transition to a more plant-based diet, be sure to download my free 7-day predominantly plant-based meal plan, linked in the comments below. I'm Whitney. Thanks so much for watching.